How often do you do something creative? Sometimes I go weeks without writing a song or making a video. Sometimes it's months. Where does all the time go? Let's figure it out. So why does it feel like I just don't have time for creative work? Things always seem to get in the way. The idea that I don't have time to be creative causes anxiety, and it seems to make me even less likely to create something. It's interesting to say that we spend time like it's money. It's actually far more valuable than money. We all have the same 24 hours per day that everyone else has. We all have the same 168 hours per week that everyone else has. We all have the same 10,080 minutes per week that everyone else has. To say I don't have time for something is really just saying I'm not making it a priority. Even if it's something I want to do, I'm simply prioritizing other things over it. I don't know who wrote it, but I found this great quote. How you spend your days is how you spend your life. I would modify that quote slightly and say, how you spend your minutes is how you spend your life. It's a reflection of your priorities. Every minute of every day, we make decisions about what's important and what's not, even if it's not a conscious decision. So where does all the time go? I was listening to this great podcast by Todd Henry called The Accidental Creative, and on this one particular episode, his guest was author Laura Vanderkam. She spent years studying how people use their time. One of the things that she mentioned that really stuck with me was the stories that people tell themselves about how they spend their time aren't necessarily true. The idea is that because you don't think that the time's there, you choose not to think about how you're going to spend it. Things can take up mental space, even if they don't take up that much time. That means you can be in denial about how you actually spend your time. Even with a 40-hour work week and sleeping 8 hours every night, you're still left with 72 hours per week. That's nearly twice as much time as a standard work week. Laura goes on to say, the best way to spend your time better is to figure out how you're spending it now. She suggested keeping a time log for 1 week, and that the results would be pretty eye-opening. So that's exactly what I did. The idea is not to try to catch yourself wasting time. Just go with the flow, write down what you're doing and how long you do it, without any judgment. You may not want to bother writing down things that only take a few minutes, but write down everything else. I started this right before leaving work on a Thursday. It went something like this. 6:30, driving home. 7 o'clock, send emails. 7:45, go grocery shopping. Do this for 1 full week. Enter it in the Notes app on your phone, or Evernote, or a piece of paper. Keep it on you at all times. Set a reminder in your calendar every morning so you don't forget. At the end of the week, I dropped everything into a simple spreadsheet, totaled up how many minutes I spent doing certain things, and grouped everything into categories. So let's look at where I ended up. Sleep, about 50 hours. Work, just about 40 hours. Look at this one right here. Driving, 13 hours and 16 minutes. I live in LA, but this is crazy. Going out with friends and family, 12 hours. Watching TV, spending time on the internet, over 11 hours. Housework, 11 hours. That's kind of a lot. Now we're down to 6 hours for creative action. This would be writing or recording a song or playing an instrument. With 168 hours available per week, this seems very low. And just over 5 hours for creative planning. This is coming up with song ideas, planning a video. This should definitely be higher. And then there are a few other smaller categories that kind of seem reasonable. There you have it, my 10,080 minutes. Not everything was a surprise, but some of this was incredibly eye-opening. I kept telling myself I don't have any time to do anything creative. I have several things that could shift priority towards more creative projects, even if it's only like 4 hours a week. So instead of 13 hours driving, maybe I'll work a day from home to reduce my commute, or carpool so I can do other things during the drive. And I certainly don't need to spend 11 hours watching TV. A good step towards shifting priority might be to start scheduling my creative work. If I just leave it up to a whim or for when I'm bored, it's probably going to get treated as the lowest priority. So now I have an idea of where I spend my minutes, hours, and days, which is ultimately how I spend my life. So definitely try the time log. It can help you see if there are any stories you're telling yourself that aren't true. Until you see how you really spend your time without any judgment or story, you may never really figure out how to spend your time in a more fulfilling way. Much of it is just about knowing the truth. If you do your own time log, let me know the results in the comments below. Thanks for watching. I gotta go waste some time.